talk home prices and inventory, Jim.
Let's do it. So this is something that we've talked about multiple times on the show. Just regionally, this is a very different market where you are, right, Anthony? Look at the fact that the mountains areas, the West, has been pretty depressed. Overbuilding in the Southwest or Southeast has caused prices to be depressed as well, right?
Yeah, the Northeast is just plugging along. The prices didn't go up nearly as much in the north part of the country during the pandemic, and they're really feeling the change right now. You can really see that that's the hottest part of the country's real estate market. And if you look at listing prices, we talk about this all the time, but nothing has really changed from 2023 to current. Everything is very flat.
Yeah, we are pretty much the exact same price on a median level nationally as we were 2 years ago at this time.
Now, builders, they continue to cut. This is the one that always concerns Jim and I, because our whole theory for the podcast has been that we're underbuilt here and that we don't have enough housing supply. And here it is again, where builders are cutting prices. August showing 37% of new builds.
This is, again, like if you want to get a deal on new construction, that you're pretty much at the best level you'll see. So
I don't think it's going to get any better.
No. And then again, going back to our central theory or the whole thesis of our podcast, the whole reason we've been discussing this for 8 years is just that, again, there's about 4 million homes less, 3.8 million I think is what the sharpest count is, less homes than there should be based upon the population growth, immigration, things like that. And then when you look at how much we built, well, massively underbuilt. These had more people, or had less people, half the people live in the country as they do now, and yet we're building literally 50 million less homes over the 2010s than we did in the 60s. So dramatically underbuilt. We need more homes. If you're wanting to buy, that's why even in a bad time like now, we're still seeing a point or two increase in sale prices.
Absolutely. And then, of course, this graph shows just how much the shift between last year and this year is taking place in the inventory for sale. And, Colorado is right in the middle of this, maybe a little higher than most, 30% rise in inventory. There are very few places in the country that I think you would want to be right now. Mm-hmm. Obviously, the Northeast, with all their price increases and everything else going on, it's a very stable market, less happening. But Nevada, or if you're over in Virginia, may not be great. Those markets have way more inventory. But you can always go to Alaska at minus 1% inventory right now. So that's always good.
Yeah. And then active housing inventory still compared to pre-pandemic levels. So remember, like we've shown on the show, how the Northeast, the Midwest is doing really good, resilient with they're seeing 5-6% increases in price. They're getting multiple offers. All the agents there are awesome, and we all suck here is kind of what they all talk about. And the reason why is look at how low the inventory level is compared to what it was before the pandemic hit. I mean, Illinois is homes for sale than it was in 2019, right? That's a huge amount. In fact, almost 100% swing between us and them as far as our gains and their losses with inventory. So it's a really different market depending on how much state you're in.
It really is. And the top three, Colorado falls in. And so that's tough. So when you're looking at it from where we're at, it's a rough market. Yeah. We're beat out by Texas.
We didn't want to make the podium on this one, but we did.
Yeah, it's a rough one. Now, even
put it into perspective,
right? We've had really, really tight levels during the pandemic times. We've been, pulling our way out of this, and it feels like there's a lot more inventory than there really is on the market.
But there isn't.
No, we just don't have as many buyers, and the buyer pool has created, the feel in the market. But right now, we're still not even back to those pre-pandemic numbers.
Yeah, I mean,
we've got at least a year left of this.
Yeah, we had 2017, 18, 19, all normal inventory levels, and we're still below there. So get out there and buy. This is your chance.
Totally. It's going to change here soon. Typically, also, days in MLS, we're still right in the mix where we would normally see everything. It's not like it's taking that long to sell homes. Yeah. It's just perspective is very different from post-pandemic when it was, our hair was on fire to where we are today, and we're sitting at 43. So
about 2016 levels.
Yeah, definitely about a week more than it was a year ago, but it's nothing to be, nothing to write home about.
Yeah. And, when you're changing metro level home prices between last July to this July, here in Colorado, those light kind of peachy colors, basically Fort Collins is down about 1.2%. I think Greeley's down 3.5, 3.8%, and the Denver Metro is about 2% drop in prices when you look July to 24 to 25.
And you can really see that's a trend across most of the West and the South of the country. It's really just those Northeast places that are seeing, average sales rises.
Yeah. And then, forecast for Zillow, the big dog on the block, they're basically looking at what are home prices going to do for the next 12 months, right? So the other one was in the past 12 months. This is looking forward to the next 12 months. Well, if you're thinking like, hey, I might just hold on to my home for a year, rent it out because prices will improve. I don't know. Zillow doesn't think so. Here in the metro, Denver metro area, we're probably looking at another maybe 2% drop.
Yeah, the only places in all of Colorado that are even going to experience it, according to Zillow, are in the West.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So interesting time. Definitely some hard decisions to make right now.
And then this is, we thought, really interesting because we don't usually see a projection out to 2029 as far as home prices go. But, the bottom quartile, the most pessimistic economists out there feel home prices are going to rise 6.7% over the next 3.5 years. The most optimistic quartile feels it's a 27% increase in prices. And then, the middle 50% are basically at about 17.5% increase in home prices over the next 3.5 years nationally. Pretty healthy, from those top two ones. If you're in the pessimistic side, it's going to be a little bit more disappointing.
All right, so let's talk showings. We love talking showings because this is that preliminary information that tells us what's going to happen in the future. This is the closest thing you're going to get to rubbing a crystal ball and getting your forecast, right? So according to September 7th, which is kind of the week's average, we have a 20% increase in showing activity compared to last year. And that's a great sign because it means buyers are active and out there in the marketplace across all of North America. It's good to see that we're still seeing strong showing traffic.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks for joining us today. Anthony Meisner with Land Title.
And I'm Jim Merrion with Coldwell Banker.
Don't forget to listen to the other podcasts we do. We do national, Colorado updates, and you can always reach out to us on the show if you want the national trends. You can get me at 303-968-9868 or ameisner@ltgc.com.
And I'm Jim Merrion, realtor at Coldwell Banker at 303-548-0243, or shoot me an email to jim@ourcoloradohomes.com. Have a great one, everybody.
Bye, everybody.